Hello everyone, my name is Victor Goh and I'm your trainers for today. To introduce myself, I am one of the partners for ActPro Singapore, one of the top recommended QuickBooks Online accounting firm in Singapore. We provide bookkeeping, mandatory accounting services, as well as group and customized training on QuickBooks Online. With the introduction of cloud accounting software, accounting is tracked in real time and QuickBooks Online support this process. Now we go to the agenda for today. We will talk about the practical training and demonstration on the features of QuickBooks Online Singapore, followed by where you can get support for QuickBooks Online Singapore. We will begin the training by teaching you how to log into QuickBooks Online. So the first thing that you need to do is to go into this URL quickbooks.intuit.com/sg/. Always remember this URL because QuickBooks Online Singapore is customized to the requirements of our goods and services tax, and it is different from other versions of QuickBooks Online in other countries. So if you are afraid that you cannot remember this URL, you can make use of the features in Chrome, which is the bookmark features in Chrome, to save it as a bookmark. So once it is done, every time when you log into QuickBooks Online, you just need to click on QBO main page on the bookmark, and it will bring you to the home page of QuickBooks Online Singapore. Following this, you will need to click on Sign In QuickBooks Online to log into QuickBooks Online. Key in your user ID, followed by your password, and click on Sign In. Choose the name of your new companies, and you will go into the dashboard page of QuickBooks Online of your own company. After logging in into QuickBooks Online, the next thing that I want to train all of the participants is on the navigation and company file setup of QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online has a very simple and unified user surface. So there are just a few key buttons to learn in order to navigate QuickBooks Online. The first one to know is the Create button, the plus button in the top right corner, which gives quick access to create new transactions and other records. We will touch on these transactions and other records in the later part of the training webinar. Next to the transaction button, Create button, is a magnifying glass. This magnifying glass has two features. The search features helps you to quickly look up QuickBooks Online transactions by name, address, amount, date, to search for customers, suppliers, transactions, or reports. The second transactions is the recent transactions features. This feature displays a list of recently recorded transactions, each of which can be opened by clicking onto the search box. As this is a newly set up company and we have not keyed in any transactions, there is no transaction to be shown in this feature itself. Next is the gearbox button. The gear button is used for customizing into QuickBooks Online that best fits your company. Click on the gear icon and choose Accounts and Settings. Inside the Accounts setting, there are a few sections. Under the Company sections, you'll be able to put in the company's icon and the UEN number by clicking on the pencil. Once the pencil has been clicked and the information has been updated, you just need to click on the Save button to save the company's name. Following that, you can also click on the pencil button to actually set up the company's tab, the contact info, and address. Next, we go on to the sales section. Under the sales section, you are able to customize your sales invoice, sales quotation, and your receipts to your customers. Click on the Customize Look and Feel. Select New Style. For example, you want to create a new customized invoice. You can click on New Style and click on Invoice. Change the name of the customized field. In this case, you can put new customized sales invoice for speed automotive. You can dive in to choose a template of your choice. In this case, I prefer a template that is more friendly. You can actually make logo additions, such as putting the logo smaller, medium, and larger. It seems better with the medium logo for me. You can splash on some colors, but I like this color of blue, so nothing needs to be done. You can select a different font and the font size. It looks good for me. Next, go on to the content itself to add in any of the informations that you want to put into your customized sales invoice. Click on the sales invoice template on the right. In this case, I want to add in my telephone number so that customers can contact me. And here you will see that the telephone number would automatically be created. The form names itself is called text invoice, which is correct. And for GST registered company, it's a requirement to add in the GST company registration number, which is the UEN, on to your sales form itself. So in here, I have actually added in the company registration number. Next, go on to the emails. So you can actually choose whether you want your invoice, your electronic invoice to appear in emails with PDF attached, in full details, or in summarized details as shown. Full details look like that, and summarized details look like this. And you can also customize your standard invoice to your customers in this creating this customized sales invoice. This message looks good to me. You also can actually customize your reminder invoice. And in this case, I would like to remind my customers 5 days in advance for the unpaid invoice. And the message seems good to me, so it's all good to go. One last thing, preview the PDF to make sure all looks good. If all looks good, click on Done to save your customized template. In this case, you will see that there is a new customized forms that is being created, which can be used in your sales invoice transactions when you create your invoices. Next, under the sales form content, you can actually click on the pencil again to change on your preferred invoice terms, service to add in service date, discount, and deposit. And once it is done, you can just click on the Save button. One of the new features of QuickBooks Online Singapore is on progress invoicing. So once you have opened up this progress invoicing, it will allow you to create multiple invoices from a single estimate or quotation. This is especially useful for interior design company or consultancy firm, or even the construction company that needs to bill your customers progressively from a single contract or sales quotation. Last but not least, you can also set messages when you default messages to be sent together with the electronic invoice to the customers, as well as estimates, credit notes, sales receipt statements, and refund statements. Click on Save, and that's all. The reminders function is especially useful to actually remind customers on invoices that are going to be due but not paid. In these instances, QuickBooks Online will automatically send a reminder email to the customers 2 days before due date for unpaid invoices. Next, we go on to the expenses section. Under the expenses section, one of the most important features is that if you send purchase orders to your customers, you will need to click on the purchase orders such that you can generate the purchase order and send it out to your customers. In addition, you can actually do up a default email messages to be sent together with the sales orders itself. Last but not least, in the accounts setting is the advanced section. Inside the advanced section, you have to set your account's first month of your financial year. For example, the financial year end of the company is 31st of December. So the first month of financial year will be January. Once this is being done, click on Save. You can also use the pencil to choose the appropriate company type, chart of accounts, categories, automations, projects, time tracking, currencies, and other preferences. One of the most important thing to take note is that if you have foreign vendors billing you in foreign currencies or foreign customers that you bill your sales invoice in foreign currencies, you will need to open up this multiple currencies function. And once this multi-currency function is being open, it can never be closed again. In this case, the currency function has already been opened in QuickBooks Online. And when you create or manage currencies, it will show the exchange rate drawn by QuickBooks Online for each day. But if your company has a company rate, you can edit the exchange rate and put in the company's rate for the day and click on Save. And all invoices generated for the day would have this exchange rate. So once this is done, we'll click on the Done button, Save button, and this will go back to the front page, the dashboard of the companies. Next, one thing to take note of is the taxes. QuickBooks Online for Singapore version is customized to the Goods and Services Tax Act of Singapore. In this example, we have opened up the taxes, which is the Goods and Services Tax filing for the quarter. We will show you how to actually prepare the GST return and also pay or refund the GST liabilities or GST receivable from our inland revenue of Singapore thereafter. Lastly, you need to set up the chart of accounts in the company file setup. The chart of accounts can be set up by pressing on the New button. And for example, under my cash and cash equivalent, I have a new corporate bank account called UOB Bank. And the currency is in Sing dollars. Upon creating this, just click on Save and Close. Another way of setting up the chart of accounts is to import the chart of accounts via the CSV file or Excel file, which would be faster. We will proceed on to the sales and purchases transactions, as well as the journal entries and bank deposit transactions in the next section. Before we proceed to create the transactions in QuickBooks Online, we also need to create the master data. QuickBooks Online has actually 4 master data, which is actually customers, suppliers, chart of accounts, and products and services. We will go through the creation of each master data one by one. To create each individual customers, click on the sales at the left-hand navigation bar and click on customers. Whenever there is a new customers, click on the tab of new customers. Key in the address so that it can appear in the sales invoice. Key in the email address so that you can immediately send over the e-invoice or e-sales quotation through the email, which I'll be showing you subsequently. Also take note that if the customers pay you in currencies other than Singapore dollars, you will need to change the settings under payment and billing to other currencies. After creating the new customers, click on Save, and you'll have a new customers being generated. Alternatively, if you have many customers to upload into QuickBooks Online, you can go to the gear button, click on Import Data, Customers, and you can select a CSV or Excel file to upload. Similarly, when you create a suppliers, go to Expenses in the left navigation bar, click on Suppliers, and click on New Suppliers. Key in the name of the new suppliers. Key in the address, the email, and you also need to state whether you pay these suppliers with Singapore dollars or other currencies, so that QuickBooks Online can recognize these suppliers is actually a local suppliers or foreign suppliers which actually pays you in foreign currency. Upon the creation of the supplier's master data, click on Save. If you want to upload a list of suppliers, you can go to the gear button, go to Import Data again, and input in the suppliers CSV, upload the CSV or Excel file, and you'll be able to upload a list of suppliers rather than creating the suppliers one by one. Lastly, you need to create the products and services which you are actually providing. Note that you have to create these products and services after you have generated the chart of accounts. I'll explain to you why you will need to do that. Click on the gear button, click on Products and Services. Click on New. It will show you 4 items. If you are creating a product that you buy and sell, you need to track them, you will need to click on the Inventory section to create the products. Else, you can key in non-inventory. In this case, we are creating a new services. And the new services is known as cartoon videography. You can choose to put out what is the sales price per hour or per rate for these services. Else, you can actually indicate this or change these prices when you create the sales invoice. Here, you will need to indicate when you perform these services, what is the income chart of accounts that you need to put in. So in this case, we click on sales. So it is definitely very important to create the chart of accounts before you create the products or services. And for inventory items, if you purchase the services from a supplier, click on this and click on the expense accounts that you will be charged whenever you sell the products. Upon the completion of this, click on save. And the services, in this case, cartoon videography, is being created. Now we will proceed on to the creations of transactions in QuickBooks Online. First, we will go through the sales transactions, followed by the suppliers transactions, the journal entries for month-end or year-end adjustments, and lastly, the recurring transactions. When you create an estimate or sales quotation, which we said in Singapore, click on the estimate. Click on your customers which you'll be providing your services or selling your products to. In this case, it's Canon Singapore Private Limited. Click on the estimate date. For example, today is the 7th of October, and the expiry date that you would want your customers to approve on the sales quotation. Click on the products, in this case services, that you will be providing to your customers. So in this case, we are providing an on-location sound recording of 4 hours at a rate of $1,000 to Canon. And the videographic firm needs to also input the GST if it is since it is a GST registered company. Note that the GST code is customized to IRA's GST code. If you need help in the goods and services tax code, you can contact your accountant and they will be able to advise you on the correct GST code to put into QuickBooks Online sales estimate and invoice transactions itself. Upon creating the sales quotation or sales estimate, click on Save and Send. Automatically, the default email will be generated, which you can actually amend it in accordance to what you want to tell your customers. And this will be the sales quotation to be signed off by the customers. Once you click on Send, the email will actually be sent to the customers. Upon the approval of the sales quotation, you will need to bill the customers. You can go back into the sales quotation 1009 in this case and click on Create Invoice. As the progress billings has been opened in QuickBooks Online, you can choose to bill the customers either by percentage of work done or by the actual customized amount based on milestones. In this case, since all of the service has been provided to Canon Singapore, we will choose total of all estimate lines and click on Create Invoice. Put on the invoice date, which is 21st of October 2019, and all of the information of the sales quotation will be automatically plotted over to the sales invoice. Upon the satisfaction of your sales invoice, which is 1013, you can click on Save and Send. In this case, the default email of the sales invoice will be generated. You can also customize your email by changing the email in this area. Next, send the electronic sales invoice by clicking Send and Close. Thereafter, the electronic sales invoice will be sent over to the customers for payment. Upon the receipt of the payment from the customers, you can go back to the sales invoice and click on Receive Payment. In this case, the customers paid through check. Key in the check number and it is deposited into the OCBC account. Click on the invoice to be paid. And then click on Save and New. So this would complete the whole cycle for the sales walkthrough or the sales transactions. Next, you can also look at the status of your sales transactions on the left navigation panel of QuickBooks Online. Click on Sales and click on Invoices. You will see that inside the Invoices 1013, your invoices has been deposited and paid. Or you can go to All Sales to look at your quotation number 1009. And you will also have noticed that the sales quotation has already been closed since it has been transferred over to the sales quotation. Of course, another way to view the status of respective sales invoice is to look at the aging receivables reports under the reports section. Next, we move on to the purchasers transactions. Similarly, click on Add, click on Create, click on Purchase Order. If you are going to issue any purchase order, key in the vendor which you will be purchasing your products and services from. Key in the purchase order date. Key in the items that you want to buy from. Under the item details, if you are actually getting services, you will need to key in the products and services column as well. Key the quantity which you are going to purchase, the rate, choose the correct GST code, and then click Save and Close. Now your purchase order has been created. Once the purchase order has been approved by your suppliers, you will need to go back to the same purchase order and convert it to the bill. Follow the information on the supplier's invoices to key in the fields inside the bill. You can attach the supplier's invoices inside the attachment using the attachments functions to attach their documents. Thereafter, click on Save and New. The bill would have been posted into QuickBooks Online. The last step is the payment of the bills. When you are going to make a payment of the supplier's invoice, go inside the bill itself and click on Make Payment. In this case, we are making payment through internet banking. Click on the bank reference number, select the bill to be paid, and click Save and Close. Similarly, you can go to the expenses at the left navigation bar to actually look at the status of your purchases transactions. In this case, you will see that your purchase order has already been closed on the status, as well as the bill has been paid. Of course, you can also go to the reports section to generate the open purchase order to look at any purchase order which has not been closed yet. Next, we'll go on to the recurring transactions. Recurring transactions is a quick way to create different transactions with the same information that will happen on a regular occurrence. These transactions can be set up to record automatically in QuickBooks Online, or they can be set up for manual entries through the template created under the recurring transaction features. So go to the gear button, click on recurring transactions, click on new. For example, you are paying your rental expenses through Gyro on a monthly basis. Key on expense, key on OK. Key in the name of your recurring expense template, monthly rental expenses. Schedule 0 days in advance. Put in the payee's name, the account you want to put it, put in the posting interval, as well as the start date of the rental expenses. Under category, since it's a rental expense, put in rental expense and put in the description. Put in the payment method. And click on Save Template. Since this is a scheduled template, the monthly rental expenses would be posted automatically to QuickBooks Online. Next, I will show you how to create a recurring template which is unscheduled. Go on New, click on, for example, Expenses, click OK. And we want to, as the utilities expenses fluctuate across the months, we cannot do the posting. It is not advisable to do the posting automatically in QuickBooks Online. Put in the name of the template, put in unscheduled, payee's name, put in the payments method, put in the expenses and utilities. Put in the GST code, and then save the template. So since it is a recurring entry, it will save you time to record these recurring entries. How does it save you time? Just go to gear button, click on recurring transactions, click on use the template. For example, now I want to record the utilities for the month of November. It is paid by Gyro on the 1st of November, and you can actually put in utilities for the month of November 2019. Amount is changed, fluctuates accordingly. In this case, there are some savings involved. GST code remains the same. Key in the bill or gyro payment, bank payment reference number. You can also attach the monthly utilities bill. Upon that, click on Save and Close. And you have recorded these utilities expenses into QuickBooks Online. Next, we will show you on the online banking function of QuickBooks Online. Click on the Banking tab on the left navigation bar and then click on File Upload. You will understand that you can actually link your bank account transactions either through connecting with the banks using automated bank feeds or download a bank file from your online banking and upload or import the files. In this case, I have actually set up the bank feeds of OCBC Bank by using the automatic bank feed and upload the CSV file for the UOB Bank. Upon that, you can also set bank rules for your banking. Here, I've set up the bank rules such that whenever there is an amount equals 535 and the bank text contains Singtel, the transactions will automatically be recognized as an expense and the payee would also be recognized as Singtel and telephone expenses. Here, under the banking, you will notice that in this line, the bank rules is being recognized. Once this is being recognized, you can actually add these transactions into the general ledgers, the bank ledgers itself. Once it's been added, it will automatically be added into the bank reconciliation statements. Click on the gear button, click on reconcile to reconcile the UOB bank. This is the transactions which we have just added in from the banking functions. And you'll notice that there's a tick here because the file has been recognized and reconciled using the reconciled. So you can either do your bank reconciliation using the banking function, or you can just compare your bank statements against the entries being keyed in the QuickBooks Online to do the bank reconciliation. Upon the completion of all the bank reconciliation and the differences goes to 0, which in this case, because I have limited transactions and I have not done the bank reconciliation, you will save for later and resume reconciliation until the differences becomes 0. Next, we will touch on the filing of the goods and services tax. Click on the taxes on the navigation bar. We are now going to prepare the tax returns from 1st of April 2019 to 30th of June 2019. Click on Prepare Returns. And here you will see that there is this GST Form 5 which you are going to submit. And the period is from 1st of April to 30th of June. Before you mark the GST Form 5 as filed, go to View the GST Details. You can go click into each of the boxes and amount within the boxes to verify that the GST is charged correctly for each of these transactions. Thereafter, when it is done already, go back to the GS taxes. Click on Prepare Return. And click on this link to file your GST online with IRAS. Log in into the tax portal to file your GST. And after filing your GST, click Mark as filed. It will show that the GST has been filed for this quarter, 1st of April 2019 to 30th of June 2019. And when the GST return is approved, you need to actually make the payment. In this case, the date of the payment can be after the second quarter, which is 3rd of July 2019. The payment amount is $196. And click on Save. This will automatically change the status from filed to filed and paid. So in this case, you have actually filed your GST and paid your GST on the date as indicated. Next, we will move on to the reports generated by QuickBooks Online. Click on the reports at the left-hand navigation bar, and you will come to the reports module. Under the standard tab, it will show you all the reports of QuickBooks Online. If you like to add a certain report under the favorite sections, you just need to click on the favorite star itself, and it will automatically appear at the top so that you can access your favorites report easily. Next, we can also generate a customized report into the customized reports section. For example, you can click on this profit and loss, and you want to customize what you want to see. Click on the customize button. Click on you don't want to see the report with any cents, and you want to see the report as a percentage of income. Run this report, and here you will have a profit and loss accounts with percentage of income and without any cents. Click on Save Customization. Put in the customized report name. Add into a group of reports that you'll be sending over to your customers or to your colleagues at the end of every month. Share with all. Click on Save. Once you have clicked on Save, you'll notice that this customized report would go to the Customs Reports tab. In addition, you can also schedule the customs reports to be emailed to different personnel at different period of the month, at different schedules. Click on Edit. Here, if you want this group of reports to be emailed on a monthly basis, click on Monthly. Every 1 month, on the first day of the month, Audrey, in this case, will be sent the groups of reports that is under the month-end performance group name. And if you click on attach the report as an Excel file, you attach it as an Excel file. Click on Save and Close. So this function will help you to schedule reports that your supervisors, your bosses, or your colleagues or your customers would like to see. We would like to let you know that there is also a mobile apps in QuickBooks Online that you can download using your iPhone or your Android devices. So please go on to your Android phone or your iPhone or iPad to download the mobile apps such that you can perform your transactions using your mobile phone on the go itself. As you can see here, you can actually send invoices on the go. Lastly, we go on to the support of QuickBooks Online. Remember when we first started off with QuickBooks Online, you always have to go to the home page of QuickBooks Online Singapore. Inside this QuickBooks Online Singapore, click on Get Support. Inside the Learn and Support, there are actually two ways that you can connect to QuickBooks Online Expert. Inside the Learn and Support, there are actually two ways that you can get support from QuickBooks Expert. Number one, you can actually email QuickBooks Online customer support, available 24/7, and they'll reply in 1 business day. The second one is that you can actually send chat message to real-time customer care consultant during office hours 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Singapore time. Lastly, if you need help from accountants, you can click on Find a Pro Advisors, and QuickBooks Online website would actually show the list of certified accountants that you can call to ask for help. That's all for today's video webinar. Thanks for listening to me. I am Victor, one of the top recommended providers of QuickBooks Online in Singapore. And once again, feel free to give me a call or email me if you have any issues. Thank you.